This is your super license. Tied to your super license is your fan zone expression label. Select the edit expression. This is where you can swap the expression.
Good evening, everyone. We are finally in the lobby, and welcome back to another round of top tier F1 esports tonight. We are heading to the legendary Autodromo Enzo Di Nino Ferrari, or better known as Imola. This classic Italian circuit is as technical as it is iconic, and is set to host a fantastic race, hopefully between three esports teams: IRT, EVR, and FGE. We can see the 14 people in the lobby, but I think two more should be joining, which should make 16. As we see a few people then on the circuit, Imola is a proper driver's circuit, as we can hear the engines roar in the background and ready to get on the circuit. I can barely hear myself actually, so I think I need to turn the volume down, but there we go then. We can see a dash out of the pit lane there on the brand new F1 game as well, so let's see how it goes. This is my first time commentating on this F1 game, and Schumacher immediately is out on the circuit as Michael Schumacher took 7 victories around here in Imola. His first win was it 1994 or 1996, but he definitely took 7 victories around. His last victory, I think, was at 2006. Don't come in on that one, but it's been a long time as well. But Imola is a proper driver's circuit with 4.9 kilometers of high-speed corners, punishing curves, and minimal runoff areas. From the lightning fast run through Tabalello to the tight and technical Variante out section, this track rewards precision and punishes even the smallest of mistakes. And these guys are going to be absolutely careful, got to be absolutely precise, carrying speed to the corners, hitting the braking points right as well, and making sure you don't overdo it, like we've seen a few people do as well. Even in the chicane here, this chicane can be very difficult because if you overdo it, you're either going to invalidate, touch the ground on the outside, or crash. So you can be very careful as well and be absolutely precise. But Schumacher in the Aston Martin then is going to be the first one on the circuit, and as you were, we're going to do a lap time around here. So this track is 4.9 kilometers, and let's see then what Schumacher has got installed as he opens the DRS flap on the Aston Martin as we reach speeds about 325 kilometers an hour. But a dip in speed there, as you can see, not using this battery on the straight as we head down in towards turn 2, flicking the car into turn 2, turn 3 and turn 4, taking a lot of curve as you possibly can as well. Run out wide on the outside there. We saw Fernando Alonso in qualifying off there back in 2024. As we now flick our way through the village chicane, you can actually cut a lot of the chicane in turn 6 and turn 7 then, as we see him go down towards Torsa. But of course, this is the driver's first lap time, so don't expect much from their first lap time because they're trying to get a groove, trying to get into a rhythm as much as they can, as we now head through Peratella, where we saw a few contact there between, I think, Pierre Gasly and Joe Guan Yu back in 2022. It's also where we saw Sergio Perez go off the track under a safety car, and he got a penalty for getting his team place back. But here comes Schumacher at the exit then, as we now make our way in towards the chicane we go. This can be very difficult, but it takes a lot of it, and nicely done as well, as you see Schumacher there on his first lap time then. Making no mistakes, just test the limits of this track. His battery usage is quite low as we head down towards the first and a second. Yes, come on, Jamie. Need to get him ahead. Oh, goodness me. I can't believe I forgot what those two are called. It's something easy, it's something memorable. But here comes Schumacher. It's a 14.4 Ravazza. There we go. I had Degner, I had Lesmo in my head, but of course it is the Ravazzas. As Luca goes quickest with a 14.443, and he's currently 300 quicker than Schumacher. Already, though, the times are so close as well. Considering these are their first lap times, it is super tight at the front then. As we see now, Meadow comes towards the final corner as Onyx in the McLaren goes quickest with 30.990, and that's already in the 13s. There was a mega lap time there from Onyx in the McLaren then, as he sets the benchmark. As we see that Zadstatos goes up into P4 in the Haas, and apologies as well with the names if I'm not pronouncing them right, so you can shout at me afterwards during the Grand Prix for mispronouncing names. But he does go P4 with a 50.2 then, so not quite representative to what he would like to do, but I think he's low on battery, so he's not going to go for the lap time. As we see Slash in the other Haas now make his way down in towards Aquamillerone. There you go, another famous corner. It can be very difficult as well, as we see him now take the corner. I commentated Slash the last game, and in PSGL he was, I dare say, not the driver we used to be seeing, and I don't know what's happened to Slash in the last game. Maybe it could be a game thing where he was not comfortable with the game itself. Maybe he dropped off in pace, who knows, but Slash has returned back, and let's see what he does in this game. I really hope he does find his pace, because on his day he is super quick, and I've commentated this guy for such a long time as well, as he heads back in the pit lane. So he is coming back in the pit lane then, not completed his first lap. Miguel in IRT in the Williams as he goes deep in the corner, but it does not invalidate crucially, so that lap time is still legal, as we now see Miguel head towards the line. It's going to be a 14.5 as he puts that Williams there up into P4. Did his teammate compromise a bit as well, I wonder, in the other Williams, as we see the Polishman, I can't even say that name properly, but he goes up into P5 with a 40.683 as Bompia goes up into P7. I'm going to call him Kowski from now on. He's called Kowski for me, as he goes P5 in the Mercedes on the PC there, as Bompia slots his Red Bull into 7th place there, as he still tackles the curse. But we've still got quite a few people then down there from P9 to P14, haven't set a lap time just yet. But I'm quite interested in this format as well. We've got 3 different teams, and I think there is like 5-6 drivers in each team. So how are they going to play out? In IRT, we've got Bompia, Azad Statos, we've got Luca, Miguel, and Wingish, who is in the, I think it is, where is he? Red Bull, there he is, but he's in the garage as he's validated. So that's the team for IRT. And so far, FGE, we've got Mulder, Wessel, Paulos, Anadol, Luke, and Schutz Medal. And in the EVR, we've got Kevin Zumberg, who is not here tonight, but Kevin Zumberg is a very quick driver. We've got Luca, we've got Maffeo, Alex, and James, but a few people are not here tonight, so that's unfortunate. But we've still got 14 people here, and sometimes, even with the low attendance, it's still good racing. We're going to see a lot of DRS trains, as expected, around this circuit as well. One DRS zone from the last corner towards the first corner, so drivers got to be very tactical where they are as well. Qualified is so important. Track position is so important as well around this circuit. You don't want to get caught up as well in that tricky situation where you're third or fourth or in the DRS train and you have nowhere to go, literally. You're just stuck there. But on board with the McLaren then of Ono as he heads downhill towards Acquamed then, as he breaks for the corner, goes uphill once again as we now reach the steepest part of the track towards the Variante chicane. This can be very difficult, like I said. It's a 50.4. He hasn't set a lap time just yet, has Ono, but his teammate is currently first with a 30.9. As we see somebody else improve, was that Russell? It was, in the Kick Sauber. He goes P4 there. Nice lap time from him in the Kick Sauber. But Ono, what can he do now as he makes his way towards the final 2 corners of this racetrack? He now applies the throttle, going towards the line. It's going to be not a representative lap time for him as he puts himself into P10. I'm a bit rusty on commentary because I've not commentated for a while now, since like 2 or 3 months ago, so I'm not quite up to speed just yet. I'm still new to the game as well, and I've been brought into an esports commentary, but hopefully my commentary standards will be back to normal as I'll get better as the session goes on. So we see the RP driver then, who hasn't set a lap time just yet. He has gone for a lap time, but unfortunately made a mistake somewhere as we see somebody else with the field. That was the Mercedes driver of Kowski, who's up into P6 there in the Mercedes, as his teammate is just 0.04 of a second behind him. Schumacher in P3, lap time of 14.4 there. He's got an RP in front of him, but of course he is not on a lap time. Dankjewel team, ik hou van jou, and see you in October. So the pole sitter has got a big margin of 0.5 of a second then, as Luca is his nearest competitor in P2, who's on his second lap or out for his second lap on an hour lap so far. So let's see if Luca can close the margin and get that gap under a few tenths, because that's a massive margin, especially in a track like this in Imola, where it's so short as well. 13.9 as the best lap time as well. But of course, the Imola Grand Prix, where we saw Max Verstappen take a sensational victory, as Medor has got a 5-place grid penalty for collision with Ono. So what on earth happened there? Was Ono on a lap time? He has validated. He's broke his wing. So his wing has gone, and one of them has got a 5-place grid penalty as Slash goes a bit wide out of turn 2 but stays on the curb towards turn 3 as he carries the speed through the high-speed corners, now coming towards the border chicane. What a fantastic track. This is Schumacher versus Alonso back in 2005, where I think Alonso and Schumacher had a mighty battle back in 2005, and I think Alonso went on to take the win. Fernando Alonso held off the charge of Marco Schumacher, it was, and you remember Pablo Montoya and I think it was Marco Schumacher back all those years ago in towards Torsa when Schumacher claimed that Pablo Montoya wasn't there. But Marco Schumacher's final win, should I say, in Imola was 2006, of course. It wasn't his final win, or was it? I think the Chinese Grand Prix in 2006 was his final win. But I can't exactly remember. I haven't really done my research for a long time, so that's just off the top of my head. But yes, the 2006 had a 14-year hiatus because we returned in Imola back in 2020 due to the COVID pandemic. As Slash goes towards the line, he goes up into P9 ahead of Zad Tatov then, who's on his outer lap, going for a flying lap. As Medal is on his outer lap so far, not going for a flying lap, so he's struggling to get a lap time on the board. But our main competitors then, we've got Alex on his flying lap. This is his second flying lap, but so close there as we head down towards turn 2, turn 3. Look at that. You can see the wheel spin, or hear the wheel spin at the exit of turn 2 as he collapsed the curb there. So I think his lap time may be slightly compromised as we flick our way now in towards the front of chicane. The kickstarter goes off in the gravel as the car gets out of the way, and as you can see, he's 2 tenths down in the first sector. So that moment out of turn 2 has cost him dearly as well. But surprisingly, he is not backing off as Wingish in the Red Bull goes up into P2. The Finnish driver, I think he's in IRT. He is. I've known Wingish for a long time actually, but then I actually got a chance to speak to him. There's 2 Finnish drivers, I think, in IRT, Kenny and Wingish, the 2 silent Finishmen who always get the job done. Luca is down in the first sector by 1.2 seconds there, so he is not on a flying lap. We've got Miguel in P6 coming through Piratello right now at the top of turn 9 as we now flick our way down towards Aquamelarone. I'm not quite sure. I think he is on a flying lap, but not anymore, because he's just in a validator, just exploits the Challenger on the exit. That is so easy to do as well. Look at this. Mulder in the Mercedes is currently up by 0.2 of a second, and it's so close between P3 down to P9.10. As we've got him coming towards the final corners. Is any more time to be gained from the Mercedes driver as we exit the final corner? Let's see what his progress is as he crosses the red line right now. He goes up into P3. What a lap time there. 3.10 separates with Luca. Luca has spun out of the final corner as he makes his way back in the pit lane. This is Alex trying to go for his second lap, but unfortunately, he invalidated just on the exit of the photo chicane there. Where is Schumacher? Schumacher is up the road. Let's see what he's doing as he makes his way towards the top of Piratello. Look at that nice speed carried through the corner. The German driver planted his car in the right places, carrying his speed through the corners there. And as you can see, balancing the throttle and the brake as he gets back on the throttle once again to head towards the Valiant chicane. Look at that, Schumacher is 5 tenths up in the middle sector. Can he improve even more in the final sector? Can he take Paul away from Onyx? We're about to find out now as he needs to nail these final 2 corners. Schumacher is on an absolute fly around here in Imola. Let's see what he can do as he makes his way towards the final corner. Bit sketchy there. Bit of oversteer at the exit of the corner. But here comes Schumacher towards the line. What can he do? It is a 40.0 for Schumacher in the Aston Martin. Just slightly off there for Onyx as he had a bit of a moment coming out of the final 2 corners there. As we got Vessel now coming towards the line. What's he going to do in the kickstarter? He goes up into P5 with a 14.3. So he's 2 tenths away from Mulder, who is in the pit lane. Medal has in validated once again, so not a lot of time he wants to be happy about. But Kowski is on another flying lap, or did he just finish one? I think he starts on a lap time based on 3 lap old set. Oh, no, he's not. Ignore me. He's on a brand new set of soft compound tyres. So as these guys notice that the tyre life, it is, yeah, what can I say? The soft compound tyres die very quickly. But look at that, nice speed as he's a 10th for the first set. So these tyres fade away very quickly in 1 lap. These tyres degrade so quickly as well. It is very difficult to keep them under temperature as well. You might encounter a bit of understeer as well in the place like this. It's towards Piratello, but Blazkowski manages to do it with the lift off as we now head towards Aquamilla. We go. Look at the speed he carries through as well. Balancing the throttle there and the acceleration. Throttle and brake as we now head towards the chicane. We go up by 1/10.5 a second. There is Kowski. This looks very quick, but unfortunately it's not seen to be matching the likes of Schumacher, Onyx, Wingish as well, and Mulder. So even though to me it looks like a fantastic lap time, these guys are esports drivers. They're much quicker than me, and they know a lot more about me as well. As Kowski comes towards the final corner, and in the pit lane he goes there, so he's not happy or satisfied with that lap time. As we've got Slash, who's up in the first sector by 0.3 of a second. The man I mentioned, he was a PSG F2 in the last game, and he did struggle a lot, but I'm wondering, I have no explanation as he's just invalidated on the exit on the entry towards Piratello, I think. So that lap time has been ruined, but I wonder where Slash's form has gone recently, because he used to be mighty quick. But I wonder, did he turn off has he always turned off assists? I don't really know him much, but I've seen him race around a lot, and I've commentated a lot before in the esports events as well. As there's 50 drivers in the session. Knight has joined the session here in Imola. There is about 3 minutes left to go, so he will have 1 more lap time in the bag to try and set. For him, it's like a one-shot qualifying, so that one shot has got to matter a lot. But Slash then still makes his way towards the line. It's going to be a 14.6 for him. That would have put him into P9, P10 territory, as there's two cars so far out on the circuit, which is Luca and Bompia. Then the line astern with the Red Bull just lurking in the background. So Alex is on pole with a 30.90. Interesting fact, his first lap time was his best, so he's not really improved since then. That's quite weird because sometimes, I don't mean this in a bad way, but sometimes the drivers can peak on their first lap. I'm not saying Alex will, but I've seen scenarios before where people peak on their first lap and they don't improve on the second, third or fourth lap because obviously this track is short and you can get away with multiple runs. But because I'm not saying obviously Alex will, but he might, as I've seen it before. Even me, I've peaked on my first lap time, so I wondered to myself, why can't I improve on my second or third lap? Maybe I'm pushing too hard, or maybe like my first lap, like on your first lap, you don't really feel any pressure, do you? Because it's more of like a banker lap, so sometimes the pressure can get to you. But here comes Luca, as the Williams driver then powers his way down towards the line. Use the battery about 330 kilometers an hour as we head down in towards turn 2. We can see he takes the apexes very nicely indeed. Looking at the carrying the speed through, hitting the apexes, cutting the corners as you want to do around the circuit. The bonus chicane. Let's see how he takes it then. He cuts the corner very nicely there. Yuki Tsunoda, look at that. Super close to validation on the exit there. He's a 10th up in the first sector as Slash has retired in the pit lane. Then that's qualifying ended prematurely as Luca now exits turn number 7 or 6, I think, of, I know the corners by the names, not by the numbers. But here comes Luca then at the top of Peratella, headed downhill towards Acromenerali. Super committed to the first part, then dab on the brakes. But unfortunately, his best stop has Luca got a bit too deep and dipped a wheel in the gravel there. That lap time was shaped up to be a good one, but a bit too ambitious there. And unfortunately led to his unfortunate mistake in towards Acromenerali, and he is backed off for sure. So, can he get the ERSA done? Because what reduced heat harvesting mean? How do I explain this? It's common sense, but I'm not really good at explaining things. But reduced harvesting means that Bompia 2 has invalidated. Look at that, he's slamming the brakes there. Try and regenerate that battery's lost. So both of them on the back foot. But Wingish, his teammate, is currently on a flying lap as we head down in towards turn 2. Look at that, just cutting the corners very nicely indeed. As we're heading towards where Yuki Tsunoda crashed this year in qualifying. I'm very surprised as well how Yuki Tsunoda just walked away unscathed. Walked away like a normal crash. Oh, Swingish there, sliding the rear of that Red Bull. So he may have lost himself a little bit of time, has Wingish, as we now head towards Peratella in 5th gear, but he's still going to continue. Why not? He's got nothing to lose now as we head towards Acromenerali. He was up in the first sector by 800ths of a second, but has he lost that time now heading towards this middle sector? No, he has actually, so he's still up despite that little slip up in towards, I think it was Torsa, as we exit the Valiant out chicane very nicely as Kowski in the Mercedes goes behind his teammate. He's up into P5. But here comes the the Red Bull driver towards the final corners he goes. Let's see what he can do. Is he going to be the improvement for Wingish there as he uses all the chock of the exit? But here comes the Red Bull driver. What's it going to be for him? It is. Oh, it's pole. Oh my goodness me. Oh, pole by about under 300ths of a second there. And look at that. Alex is down. And he's down again in the middle sector there, so he's not improving. Is the McLaren driver? Is any more time to be found for him? Although he did get a bit more time in the middle sector there. But what a lap. Sensational from Wingish there to take pole despite a mistake in towards turn 7. But here comes Alex. What can he do? Can he respond? This is his last lap for the McLaren driver as he now makes his way towards the line. Is this pole again? It is pole. He's back on pole with a 30.850. Where Schumacher is up in the middle sector as he heads towards the final corner. It's not really tidy for him. But what can the German driver do in the Aston Martin as he crosses the line now? It is pole by 400ths of a second there. Well done to Schumacher. The German driver is on pole. So Schumacher around Imola, Michael Schumacher's taking the most poles, or wins, shall I say, 7 wins from 1994 all the way to 2006. But Schumacher on pole here in the Aston Martin with Alex in P2, Wingish in P3, Mulder P4 ahead of Vessel, and Kowski P6 ahead of Miguel, Lucas 7th ahead of Zantitatos in P9, Medal in P10 ahead of Maflivio, Bompia P12, Knight / Arno Diol, who started 15th place. Yes, Bonpier is Slash, if I said it right in Dutch. But yeah, unfortunately for Bonpier there, who will start down in P12. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the action too for the first social race around here. Well, my first social race as commentating, so just trying to get the gist. Trying to get my groove as well, because I've not spoken for a long time. Obviously I have, but yeah. Been a long time since I've streamed a race as well, so nice to do it on the new game, and thank you for inviting me as well. I'll try and do my best, even though my voice is going already. So that's the ring rust. I haven't spoken or commentated or warmed up for such a long time. But I know that Michael Schumacher is the most successful driver around here with 7 wins. A few pole positions as well for Michael Schumacher. I think 4 poles in Benetton, and the rest were Ferrari. He missed his 8th win, didn't he, in 2005 with Fernando Alonso. I know Sieb is a massive Alonso fan, so he'd be very happy with that start. But I know that Ayrton Senna has taken 3 victories around here as well. His first victory, I think, in McLaren, I dare say, in 19... this is pushing my memory way far back. I don't want to mess it up. Let me think. 1989 or 1988, because I think a year later... is Berger's crash, wasn't it, in 1989. But I'm not going to mention 1994, because obviously we know what happened then. But yeah, Senna took a hat-trick of wins in 1991 as well. Stefan is in the chat. Welcome, mate. Nice to see you in the chat. I'm not quite sure how I'm being a naughty girl, but yeah. Thank you very much, mate. Alan Frost has both taken 3 victories back in 1984, 86 and 1993. And of course, Verstappen as well has taken 3 victories in 2022, 2024 and 2025. I think Imola as well. Was that the last race for Imola last year in 2025? Because this iconic circuit is going, unfortunately. But yeah, Verstappen will be the last driver to win around here in Imola. Dominated since then, even though he's under massive pressure from Lando Norris in 2nd place in 2024. Even though he was under massive pressure, I don't think Norris would have got him anywhere. I think Verstappen would have done everything to keep that car behind, which he did, and he did a fantastic job as well. Verstappen taking a victory in 2024. We haven't even talked about Spain just yet, but of course, if I'm talking about Spain, the most obvious thing I'm going to talk about is Verstappen. And I know most of you here are Dutch, so I'm not going to say anything. I know IRT are vastly Dutch as well, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut about Verstappen, but in my opinion, it was wrong. But no formation lap, so we're going to get straight into it. And we're underway for the Imola Grand Prix. Let's see who gets the better start. Both of them, the top 2 get an even start. But look at Alex then, side by side with Schumacher as we head down towards the first corner. Alex is ahead of him before the first corner. Number 3 abreast in the background as we head down in towards turn 2. Any contact between the drivers. Look at the kick Sauber, who gets on the grass there and under massive pressure from Kowski, who goes all the way around the outside. Here comes Luca now, side by side in towards the finish chicane. None of them backing out, but one of them yields, which is the Sauber driver who's been pushed into P7. Further back, we've got Zad Tatos, who's had a horrible start. He's down to P11 now, being swamped by the guys behind. I wonder if he touches the gravel on the outside of the finish chicane. He's a ghost, but will be solid very shortly as he now rejoins in P11 there. So Alex lead, but the kick Sauber and the Alpine. Like Pierre Gasly goes off the track as he rejoins in P10. Then Bob Pinal gets ahead of him as he puts himself into P9. So it looks like a clean lap so far from everybody, other than a few people just touching the gravel here and there. But so far, all 50 drivers are pointing in the right direction then. As we did have a formation lap, did we? I don't know why I said that. Did we? So Alex then leads, but he's on the mini-compound tyre. Schumacher, I think, is on the hards ahead of Wingish. Morda as both Mercedes. In fact, the Mercedes goes off the track. Where is he? He's gone off where Valtteri Bottas went off in 2020. As now Ono goes past him as well, up into P10 and ahead of the Mercedes driver. As we see Luca then rise the back. Now he overtakes him. He puts himself into P4. Thanks to that Mercedes got on the track of Morda, it's broken the DRS already. So the top 3 are pulled away. And Luca has got a lot of work to do from there in P4 as Zadstato unfortunately picks himself up a 2nd penalty in this Grand Prix. That's a big blunder for his race already, especially the second lap around here where it is very easy to pick up challenge penalties. You can definitely tell that I haven't spoken for a long time in commentary because my voice is already going then, as we see the RB and the Mercedes or the Hask there getting very close for company as Medal gets ahead as he puts himself into P12. So, this is interesting because the McLaren's gone off the track again. Who's that? That is Ono who's gone off the track. And he rejoins way behind the Mercedes of Mulder. So I'm interested because I haven't done a race yet, but I've done a few social races, but unfortunately, those races has been interrupted by rain. So I'm intrigued what the strategy is around here. Is it a two-stop or is it a one-stop? I've not watched other social races either, so I wonder if it's mediums to hards or is there a two-stop involved as well around this circuit? We'll find out later on in the Grand Prix. All the questions will be answered later on as Luca is under massive pressure there from Kowski in the Mercedes then. The DRS is wide open on the car as now he overtakes him for P4. As we see the Ferrari drive, switching to the very last minute there as we see the Ferrari down the inside, but no room there as Luca goes a bit deep in the corner. Here comes Knight who's trying to take advantage. However, Knight has done a fantastic job. Where did he start? P12, so Knight starts the P12 with only one lap on the board. He's up into P6 already as Vettel is right behind him in the kick-saver as well, putting him under massive pressure. But P4 downwards already compromised in this race because they're not in the DRS of the guys ahead. The top three are able to pull away a Wiggins, Schumacher and Onyx. But of course Schumacher is on the hardcore power tyres. They go for that long stint in the Aston Martin, but still keeping up with Onyx and Wingish. As we see the train right behind them, Formula Kowski, Luca, Knight, Vesso, Mafflio, Biompia and Mulder in P10 as well, following that DRS train. Could be a big DRS train there, as we see that a few cars bumping over the curbs. Both Hassers are in last place, unfortunately, as they continue to struggle, Zad Statos and Slash. As we saw that the Hash drivers get themselves in a bit of a squabble there early in the race. As we now round off the final corner, it is lap 4 out of 32. A long way to go in this Grand Prix, and the top three have the advantage so far, because they built the gap over the rest of the drivers. The gap is 2.1, and like it was in any game, if you put in the DRS, it is so difficult to get yourself back in there. As Luca now gets his way past of the Mercedes driver, who puts himself into P4. Luca, of course, is on the hardcore power tyres. Only 3 people, or 4 shall I say, have gone for the hardcore power tyres. Schumacher, Luca, Miguel and Slash down in P12 have all gone for the hardcore power tyres. So will their strategy pay dividends for the race? I wonder. Depends if a safety car intervenes as well. As we see a lovely camera shot of these guys flowing through the circuit. If Piratella we go down towards Akira Lamar, we can see a few... Vessel's got off the track, and let's see what happened. Oh, what a shame for Vessel there as he goes off the track in towards Piratella. And I wonder, did he touch the inside curb, or did he go on the gravel on the exit? I'm not quite sure. But however, his result is P15 now. And he's got a long way to go there from there. Safety cars are quite common on this circuit because it's so easy to make contact and go into the wall around here. Look at that, the Mercedes of Kowski puts a bit of dirt on his grass there, dips the wheel in the gravel, and he picks up a bit of debris as well. As we see now, these guys have got a second in hand now of each other. So Luca is 1.6 behind Wingish. Look at this, then the top three in a battle with each other. That's Onyx, Schumacher and Wingish. Of course, in the first stint, you just want to settle down, as Wingish is actually struggling to stay in DRS range of Schumacher then. Wingish has made a mistake in towards the Villas corner, and he's lost the DRS already. He's lost about 4 tenths in one corner. So I'm wondering if he's pushing too hard there in the Red Bull. He now is exposed towards Luca and Kowski then. So that mistake has cost him dearly. And now he's in the clutches of the Mercedes and the Ferrari as well. And Luca, shall I say, in the Alpine, or the Williams, shall I say. Yeah. It's been a long time since I commentated, so forgive me for being a bit of a... Yeah. But as we now make our way towards the Valiant out chicane, I've literally done no preparation for this whatsoever. Literally no preparation, so I'm a bit rusty here, but we'll manage. So the top two have been left alone then. This is Schumacher versus Onyx for first and second there. Both of them on different tyre compound. One's on mediums, the other one's on hardcore power tyres. As we see Schumacher right at the back of Onyx then, with the DRS wide open. Will he decide to stay behind him, or will he make an overtake right now? Here he comes then with the DRS wide open as he now takes the lead at the Grand Prix. Schumacher is back up into first place as Luca gets past. But did Onyx go wide? He did. Went a bit wide out of turn 2 as he's losing a lot of time there. That car went from 2 tenths to 7 tenths in the space of a few corners there. This track is punishing, absolutely punishing. One mistake and you can find yourselves way down the field. Even one small mistake like dipping the wheel in the gravel has huge consequences. Not to mention the track limits around here too. But Wingish seems to be struggling in race trim. Had fantastic qualifying, but in the race seems to be slipping backwards just a bit. He was in the DRS race. Look at Schumacher. Schumacher has absolutely flown by. The gap is 1.4 seconds then. Is that the tyre difference? Is that him on the hard compound tyres? The performance on those hards has been much better. I know it's only lap 6, but the tyre wear can be absolutely devastating around this circuit. With the increased tyre wear as well, you could see a two-stop strategies in some races, but I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. The gap is 1.4. Luca is closed in. Luca has dropped Wingish. Wingish is absolutely struggling there on the medium compound tyres then. So I wonder if these medium compound tyres are just dropping off slightly, and therefore the guys on the hards have the advantage now already in the Grand Prix, as somebody has dropped out of the top 10. That is the Alpine who's spun the final corner. So Dam says this is 100% a two-stop as Kowski gets past Wingish for P4. So I wonder if these guys then might convert. Oh, off in the background goes the Red Bull into the gravel. Oh, in the wall he goes as well. That's his Wingish who finds himself in the wall. Oh, what a shame there from the Red Bull driver. He was absolutely mighty in qualifying, but now finds himself in the barriers as he taps the barriers wall on the exit of the corner. Rejoins into P13. Oh, what a shame there for the Red Bull driver then. So it is a definite two-stop for sure, but I'm quite intrigued about the strategy now because I have no idea. I have literally done 0 race distance on this game just yet. I've only done social races, which is about 25% or 35%, but the rains also made an impact as well. So I literally have no information about the tyre wear whatsoever. But I know the tyre wear is absolutely shocking as well, especially in qualifying, because I did a race around Austria, I think it was yesterday, and I think that the tyre wear was so bad, after one lap it was like 10%, 12%. So yeah, the tyre wear is super high around any circuit, so we could see massive two-stop, and two-stops as well. I love to see two-stop strategies because that means the driver's got to think more. It's not a one-stop strategy where you go on the hards or mediums and that's it. So drivers got to think on their feet and think strategically as well. This game is about dirty air. The dirty air as well, not to mention that too. Oh, off in the background goes the Ferrari. That is Knight, who finds himself in the barriers as well. Quite a lot of drivers here are making mistakes, and that's the second person I've seen in the barriers so far, down in towards turn 4. What a shame there from the Ferrari Knight, who qualified P12, was inside the top 5, but unfortunately he has dropped to the exit of turn 4 and rejoins all the way down in P12 there, as Wingish is in the pit lane for the early stop onto the hard compound tyre. He goes. His mediums are absolutely ruined by now. That's why he's on the hard compound tyres. But we can see Onyx then under massive pressure from Luca. We saw in the first stint, the early stage of this Grand Prix, as somebody once again has become a cropper around this racetrack, which is a Knight, as he rejoins the P12. Slash gets himself a 3-second penalty. As we go back towards the top end of the field then, between Onyx and Luca. Luca is reeling in Onyx there, who seems to have lost pace on the compound tyres. The DRS is wide open, and now he can set about overtaking him for P2. And Luca now puts himself into P2. Oh, look at that massive slide through turn 2 and turn 3, as now Onyx then puts him under massive pressure once again. But Luca should have the track position over the McLaren driver. He does, as Knight gets himself a penalty and speeds the pit lane and retires from the pit lane as well. So that's the end of his race. But we've seen a lot of people then struggling on these mid-compound tyres. The mediums are fading away very quickly. I wonder how bad they are right now. What percentage of these tyres, and when are they thinking about pit stop, the mid-compound tyres? Because in the last game, when the mid-compound tyres went, they died so quickly, and therefore it was just so difficult to bring them back to minimum optimum temperature, where it was sliding around all the time, no grip whatsoever, and the tyres were not to recover either. Like, the hard compound tyres are so durable that they can keep on going and going and going even when they get older. But the mediums, once they get old, that's when you start to struggle as well. So you can see that Onyx there, 8 tenths behind, almost out of DRS range of Luca already, as we now exit the final corner. Onyx is 9 tenths behind. He will get the DRS on the back of the Williams driver as he heads off into the pit lane then. So at any pit stop, as he locks up, coming in the pit lane then. So he's one of the main drivers then that's pitted. He goes on to another set of the mid-car power tyres. That's confirmed a definite 2-stop then. And he rejoins where? Let's see, in towards P12 or 11 he goes, ahead of Slash, or behind him. Luckily for him, he's got a massive advantage over the rest of the guys behind and ahead. As he chuddles down this pit lane as well, it is so slow. It feels like a lifetime being in that pit lane. So here he comes, another pit lane, rejoins in P11, can use the clean air to utilise it. And look at that, turn 1, he almost cut the corner completely as well, so be very careful within track limits here as well. So I wonder if any of the guys on limited compound tyres will respond as well. What the guys on the hard compound tyres do? Is it still a 2-stop? I think it is for the guys on the hard compound tyres there. So maybe, obviously hard, medium, but when? How long do you extend the hard compound tyres for, I wonder? It's going to be so interesting in this game as well, how strategy is going to play out in this game, because one stop is going to be very difficult. You've got to have mighty tyre saving as well on the game. You've got to have mighty tyre, yeah, obviously, but yeah, you're very good with tyre saving. There we go. So there is a massive field spread within the field there, as a few guys before made mistakes. Medal is in the pit lane, as IRT Miguel will go past him. He puts himself into P4 ahead of the RB, who's in the pit lane. So, from what we tested, a 1-stop is possible. But how bad is the tyre wear? That's the question, though. How bad is the tyre wear? How much time do you lose? And also, the guys on 2-stop, do they catch up quite quickly as well? If you talk about the mini-compound tyres, then it's a definite 2-stop for sure. But these guys look like they're doing a 2-stop because I think 22 laps on a set of hard compound tyres may be a bit too long. I'm not quite sure. Depends how good your tyre life saving is. Can you conserve the tyres as much as you can for a 1-stop strategy? And plus the 2-stop around here in Imola, the pit lane loss is so big as well. You can't afford a 2-stop around here, and Silverstone as well. I mean, we saw back in the Imola Grand Prix in the last race, where we saw people doing 2 stops, but the 1-stop was the right way to go. But of course, people did 2 stops because the safety car came out. But a 1-stop would have been the way to go. Oscar Piastri and the rest of them got stuck in traffic, didn't they? As Oscar Piastri did the early undercut on Verstappen, but of course he was stuck in traffic and lost all that time being behind that traffic. The 2-stop was on the way to go on that day for Oscar Piastri as he lost out. Mulder then is under massive pressure from Bob here as Kowski has pitted onto another set of the hard compound tyres of mediums. As Bob here then, as Wiggins gets a 3-second penalty. Let's see what people have gone for. Wiggins has spun out of Peratella, but here comes Bob here gaining as he puts himself into P3 ahead of the Mercedes driver. So Miguel is on another set of the mini compound tyres. Onyx goes through, of course, he pitted quite early, so should get a massive undercut, which he does. He puts himself back into P6 there. So Kowski's on the hard compound tyres as here comes the Racing Bull driver. So Miguel is on another set of mini compound tyres. That's a definite 2-stop for him, as Melo gets a 3-second penalty in the Grand Prix. So a mixture of strategies. Is Kowski going to take these tyres towards the end, or is he doing medium, hard, medium? Let's see if that strategy works out for him. Maybe he wants a better second stint to go longer and reduce his last stint on the mini-compound tyres to make sure he has the best grip towards the end. So maybe that's what Kowski's doing so far in the Grand Prix, but no sign of movement from the top two. Luca and Schumacher both staying up, but Luca has actually caught Schumacher as he heads off as the pit lane, then lap 12 on those hard compound tyres as he puts on a set of mini-compound tyres. So hard, medium for Luca. This is going to be very interesting then for his race. The Vessel picks up a 3-second penalty as well in this race. But I wonder, with a 2-stop strategy implemented, are we going to see the tyre allocations going to be shifted towards harder? I wonder. 2 sets of hards, 2 sets of mediums. Is that going to come back? Or I'm not quite sure actually, but it's going to be very interesting if it does come back or not. But Bob Pierre and Morder then, second and third, elongated their first stint on the mini-compound tyres. Go for a very long stint, but losing a lot of time towards the guys behind. Oh, Bob Pierre then, massive slide in towards the front chicane, but scoops up very nicely. Where is Luca going to rejoin? P5. So he's rejoined in some nice clean air, but he's lost out to Onyx by 4 seconds. But he has a big, I say big, 3-lap difference in tyres. Can be quite significant during the Grand Prix. It might not sound a lot, but it is. 3-lap difference there between the mini compound tyres. So we'll see how that pays off there for Luca. He's gone for a set on the mini compound tyres from start to the hard compound tyres. Will Schumacher come to the pit lane to respond? We're about to find out from the German driver as he now makes his way towards the final corner. He goes, and I think he will pit. No, he's still out there. So Schumacher has opted to stay out there, and that means that Luca will definitely get an undercut when Schumacher pits for his first pit stop around here in Imola. Quite early pit stop there for Luca because Bompia and Moda have gone longer on those mini compound tyres in comparison towards Luca, who was on the hard compound tyres, as Moda has been has stayed in the pit lane longer than we wanted, but no, he gets back out ahead of him. I think you guys can tell my voice is definitely going. It's been a long time since I commentated, and I ain't commentated for a long time either, so... Oh, off in the background goes Kalski in the Mercedes, so apologies if my energy is quite low here tonight. It's been a long time as well, but Kalski's lost the DRS, almost lost the DRS towards a medal. The gap between, look at that, the gap between Luca and Alex has gone down quite significantly as well. The gap was 3.5, now it's 3.2.2. So he's gained a second in one lap as Luca is absolutely flying on the mini compound tyres. But Wingish has retired. Is that a safety car? A safety car has been deployed. And Schumacher would absolutely love that too. He can now go on the mini compound tyres. But I'll take a short break as I'll go towards the toilet because I need the toilet desperately. Right, I'm back then. So Luca does get the undercut on Schumacher. The gap is, well, obviously because the safety car came out now, so they're close together on the circuit. But Luca would have wanted a bigger undercut than that, but unfortunately the safety car came at the wrong time. And Schumacher is on brand new mini compound tyres. As you can see, Kowski and Zantatos in P3 and P4 have stayed out on the hard compound tyres. Onyx in P5 on a brand new set of hards. As we see Medal in P10 on a set of the soft compound tyres. So 2 people in mediums, that's the 2 people that started on the hard compound tyres, now converged over to the mediums to a mid stint on the medium compound tyres before they go on to another set on the medium compound tyres. But we are definitely seeing some 2-stop strategies then implemented into this game, and that's quite interesting to see how it works. So Alex has gone onto a hard compound tyre, quite smart to get rid of his mediums then, so he can take the hards towards the end, can Alex. Let's see the tyre strategies then. As we see there, Alex has gone for a little stint on the medium compound tyres in his second stint, but now on his third, he's put on the hard compound tyres, and that could be doable for him towards the end of the Grand Prix. If he can take those hards towards the end, then Luca and Schumacher will have to do another pit stop because those mediums can't go towards the end. So another pit stop is required for the top 2. Kowski, Zadstatov can go towards the end if they want to, but the tyre life might be a bit too outstretched and outdated for them. And we've got Medal on a set of soft compound tyres, but they'll die out in like 5 laps time. So we're halfway into this race, and Knight has retired, and Wingish has retired as well, as he's the one that caused this recent safety car, and it's completely changed the trajectory of this race now. I think Alex in P5 has a massive advantage there. Knowing the top 2 will pit again, Luca and Schumacher. Luca and Schumacher, when they make another pit stop on the hard compound tyres or mediums, they'll definitely have a lot of time to make up and catch up as well. I'm not quite sure if they can do it or not, but we'll see how this race plans out. But Alex sitting pretty in P5 when the safety car came out. It'll be interesting to see how it all turns out towards the end of the Grand Prix, how it all unfolds between all these drivers. What is the order going to be like towards the end of the Grand Prix, I wonder? I should have definitely warned my boys here because, yeah, it's been a long time. But anyways, hopefully the safety car comes in quickly and we can get racing once again. I'll take a short break. I'll be back with you after the, well, before the safety car ends. I'll be back with you. The safety car is coming in towards the end of this lap, and racing can resume once again then, as Luca will lead them away, trying to get a bit extra temperature in his tyres before he decides to pull the trigger and go. So let's see how the second part of this race pans out now, with a bit of a neutralisation, but we can get racing once again as Luca will stop the pedal as we now exit the final corner. Luca goes right now, very smart thing to do as well, doing it at the final corner, as you can see Schumacher on the back of him once again. Here he comes there with the battery, here comes Schumacher side by side with Luca as he puts the Aston Martin back in first place, as he wasn't going to wait, was he, to take first place away. He wants it immediately, as we can see Karski there getting very close towards the grass on the exit of turn 3, where Franco Colapinto had his moment and crashed out during the Grand Prix. He's under massive pressure there from his settles right behind Alex as well. Alex on the bonus set of hardcore power tyres. Let's see then. Oh, look at that massive snap there from Mulder as he tried, well, should I say, try and slow the car down in towards Tulsa, but unfortunately locked up the rear end there and snatched an but gets away with it. As we continue racing once again, yellow flag is still out there. In fact, safety car is still out there, so that's a bit of a glitch out there. So that's a bit annoying because, yeah, a bit annoying there. But hopefully that glitch goes. So that's the first glitch I've seen in this game so far. The safety car staying out there. But Luca then still on the back of Schumacher, not letting the Aston Martin go whatsoever, even though he's on 2-lap old medium compound tyres. Luca, unfortunately, before that safety car came out, did not get the undercut he wanted. That's because he was aiming for, but goes a bit deep in the first with Asa, and he lost a bit of time too for good measure. That's brought Kowski back in towards the DRS contention. The Haas in the background is under massive pressure from Onyx right behind too, so watch out for that battle. He's right at the back of the Haas then as we go on board now with the two. Onyx then side by side, but the car gets squeezed. Oh, there's contact and he spins! Such bizarre contact between the two there as he rejoins all the way down in last then. What on earth happened there between those two? It's the obvious answer. I think Santos pushed Onyx onto the grass there. As a result, they both split out there. So very bizarre indeed between those two. And what a shame, because I think one of them has got full mid damage too, which is Onyx. I think Onyx has got damage, and I think he was the... No, he hasn't actually. I think it was the other Haas who picked up damage there. Somebody picked up damage because I saw a bit of end plate lost there. Or am I tripping? I'm not quite sure. None of them has lost their front wing, so... I definitely saw something fly across the track. I think it was the bollard actually. Yeah, piece of a bollard. So Alex there in 30th place, one of the big hitters to win this Grand Prix, unfortunately is out of it, down in P13. What a shame as well, because he looked like on the best tyre in 30th place, continued towards the end. And Lucas Schumacher will have to try and catch up if they can. They're on the mid-Cup powered tyres, those mediums can't go towards the end. If they can, then well done. Maybe they'll try and take it towards the end, because I've seen people take mid-Cup powered tyres all the way to the end, even though they don't have a chance, but they pay the price towards the Grand Prix as well. Here comes Mulder, he puts himself into P4. Here comes Bob Pierre around the outside, he puts himself into P5 too, taking advantage of the Haas there, who was under massive pressure. He goes off the track again as he's in the gravel and retires on the circuit then. And he is out of the race, unfortunately. Back towards the front, Luca and Schumacher have got such mighty pace there in the Williams and the Aston Martin. They're still pulling away, despite being on the mid-Cup powered tyres. Kowski and Mulder are not able to catch up, neither is Bob Pierre McGill. So the top two, Luca and Schumacher, are absolutely flying around here at the Imola Grand Prix. I wonder as well, I'm just wondering, can they take the tyres towards the end? It's a bit of a stretch, really. It's a bit of a tall order with 12 laps left to go. I don't think that pitting is a wise thing to do unless they've got mighty pace on their brother semi-Cup powered tyres. But surely the safety cars put them at a massive disadvantage. But with 12 laps left to go, you think that they can take the tyres towards the end? Yes or no? They'll be very old and they'll be off the cliff. But maybe they're going to pay the price towards the end of the Grand Prix too. What would you rather do? Pit and lose such a lot of time? Or try and stay out and lose time? Either way, it's a big predicament they're in right now on the mid-Cup powered tyres. As we see the two Mercedes boys and Bob here there, we're about to see three abreast in towards turn 2, but the Red Bull has been cut off as he splits both Mercedes. And now Red Bull of Bob Pierre is up into P4. What a fantastic drive from the Duchy of Bob Pierre there. Really showing some fantastic driving. He may struggle in qualifying, but still made it up during the Grand Prix. And now he's on the verges of getting a podium potentially. In fact, he will get a podium because Mulder has a 3-second penalty, but the guys behind will also have an answer as well. Try and respond, try and take P4 away from Bob Pierre. Bob Pierre, of course, in the IRT car. Bob Pierre has been in IRT for such a long time as well. And look at this, Luca is starting to be detached from Schumacher as well. Schumacher once again showing some amazing pace as he's dropping Luca out of his DRS range there. Luca's tyres maybe also explaining why that he's struggling to keep up with Schumacher. Maybe in the clutches, the guys behind. Look at that, Mulder, a massive moment out of the Valiant out chicane there, as he lost a bit of time as well. Bob Pierre is right to the back of his gearbox. He may get swamped on the straight with the DRS of his own teammate and McGill right behind. McGill has done a mega job too in P6 for IRT. But here we go then, out of the final corner we go. As Luca is in the pit lane then, so he's going to go on the mid-Cup powered tyres. But Bob Pierre with the DRS wide open as he slides past the Mercedes driver as he puts himself into P2. So Luca has pitted. It's a good or not go on a brother semi-Cup powered tyres. The question is, with 10 laps left to go, can he catch up? Or maybe if he did take those mediums towards the end, he might get a puncher. So, McLaren in the background has made a big mistake there out of turn 4. He's gone for a little bit of a spin as he rejoins P9. What a shame for the EVR driver of Ono, who picks himself up a 3-second tablet. In fact, Ono is FGE, not EVR. So far, Schumacher is leading the way. The driver for EVR doing a mega job so far. So Schumacher might get undercutted from Luca if he does pick this lap. 10 laps left to go. On the old game, you go towards the end of the Grand Prix, would you? But on this game, you can't quite tell if you pick up a puncher or not. So is it worth the risk? Is he going to take his side towards the end? Is he going to box right now? Let's see what the answer is. Does he pit? No, he doesn't. So that is 9 laps left to go in the Grand Prix of catching up to do. Luca has rejoined all the way down in P12. And yeah, that safety car hasn't helped whatsoever. Look at that. The gap is 26.5 as well. The gap closest towards him is 9.3. That's still a long margin, 9.3, as Mulder has overtaken Bob Pierre for P2. Ono Dole gets a 10-second penalty as he retires in the pit lane then. So Luca's nearest competitor is Slash, who is Bob Pierre, gets a 3-second penalty as well. So his chances of a podium may be slipping away as Vessel in the background looking for an overtake going in towards Tulsa, but nothing doing there. But the RP driver is on all the mini compound tyres, so Vessel might have an advantage against the guy on the mediums then. So Schumacher, if he does take these tyres towards the end, will it be under massive pressure from Mulder, Bobpier and Kowski right behind as well? And if he does, and Luca gets a 3-second penalty as well, if he does get under pressure from the guys behind, he won't have the tyre advantage, will he? He won't have the grip out of the corners. So Schumacher is in a massive predicament. I don't think Schumacher is going to win the Grand Prix. In fact, I maybe doubted him too much, so I'll say, yeah. But Schumacher there, massive trouble on P1 on those mini compound tyres. Still got some good pace as he won't pit. So I don't think he's going to pit. He's going to take these tyres all the way to the end. But I'm wondering, will the guys behind catch up? That's the question now. There's no point Schumacher pitting, because if he does, then he won't have the laps, will he? Try and get these guys. Lucas pitted from P11, well P2 to P11 now, as Bobpier then was right behind the Mercedes, but the Mercedes there putting the car in the right places, deflecting that attack from Bobpier as he stays in P2. But back in the background we can see that the RB and the Kick Sauber also involved, going wheel to wheel there. As you can see, the Vessel gets out of shape in towards the front chicane. Look at that. Schumacher has pulled away again. Look at that, the Kick Sauber in the background. Also losing it to him, Tulsa. But Schumacher has pulled a 4-second gap already. That's a massive advantage there. I meant to say Schumacher's gained more time on Mulder. The gap was like 3.5, that's 4.1. So Schumacher on all the mini compound tyres is still pulling away from the guys behind as well. What mighty pace there from Schumacher, and Luca as well. What will Luca think after the Grand Prix? Maybe he should have stayed out there, but was his tyres going to be in punchy territory? I'm not quite sure. But Schumacher doing a mega job there in first place. There's still about 7 laps left to go in the Grand Prix. He crossed the line right now, and the gap is about 4 seconds. 4 seconds, there we go. The gap is 4 seconds between himself and Mulder. As we see Bob in the background with the DRS wide open. Of course, these guys behind him have got 3-second tablets as well. So Schumacher might have a chance winning, you know, because the guys behind do have a penalty. As we see that Kowski, I think Kowski needs to be released now from his teammate Mulder. Kowski and Mulder in the same team. I think that the driver swap is necessary, because there's no point Mulder holding up his teammate and having the DRS back at Bobpier, and Kowski be stuck in no man's land being in DRS train behind his teammate and Bobpier. So I think Kowski needs to be released and catch after Bobpier and try and get Schumacher if his tyres do fade away towards the end, as Bobpier dips the wheel in the gravel there but still gets away with it. So hasn't lost any time whatsoever, has Bobpier, despite dipping the wheel in the gravel. Oh, look at that, you can see Mulder there out of control in towards Valiente Alta. But Bobpier has gained a little bit of time, not too much though, on this lap. The gap was like 4.2, that was 3.8, so he's gone down by about 0.4 of a second there. As the laps tick on, the guys behind on the hard compound tyres will gain time, but the question is though, how much time? And will the two Mercedes swap places? They've got to do it right now. There is no point Mulder holding up Kowski, as in the background goes off Wessel, who goes off in the final corner. As we see Meadow get past the RP driver, he puts himself up into P6 now on the mini compound tyres as well. Bobpier does have a 3-second temperature, so does Mulder, so they have no chance of winning the Grand Prix because the guys are right behind them as well, and plus Schumacher as well, so those guys have no chance of winning. Good pace, but unfortunately penalties has let them down, which is quite the norm around here as well. Penalties are brutal around the circuit. Such high-speed corners, such flowing and everything corners on this circuit, one of the most iconic circuits around here in F1. It's a shame that might be leaving towards the end of this year as well. 2025 Imola Grand Prix could be his last race. And the gap's gone down by 2.9 seconds there, but Bobpier playing with the challenges once again. He really did attack the Valiente Alta chicane and went off the track as well in, I think, the exit of it too. He's really pushing. He's really pushing to get the Mercedes out of his DRS range, but it's a bit difficult as well. It must be said. The gap has gone down to 2.8 seconds then, so the gap was 4.3 if he loves to go. Now it's 2.7, so Schumacher is going to be under massive pressure soon from the guys behind. He's got Kowski, he's got Miguel, who's in the back of this DRS train. Alex is up into P7 despite his early tangle with, I think it was Zadstasos. But who's gone off the track there? Oh, Mulder has gone off the track there, and he's lost a lot of time, and he's holding up his teammate's ball. So that's a massive shame for Mulder there. That's a big mistake. And will it drop him out of DRS range towards Bobpier, I wonder? He just dipped a wheel in the gravel there, and he is on the fringes of being outside. In fact, he is outside the 1 second rigid DRS. Bompia is if the air can pull away. I think both Mercedes should have swapped when they had the chance, but they didn't for some reason. They didn't swap. This has really cost him, and I think Mulder is using his battery as well, trying to get himself in close contention of Bompia. Look at that as well, lower battery on both of them. So just on the fringes there of getting the DRS range is Mulder. He's in and out every single second is the Mercedes driver. Now he's out of it for sure, so I wonder if he's going to have to let his teammate go and let his teammate get himself back in the DRS range of Bompia. But is it a bit too late, I wonder, because Kowski is quite far behind his own teammate as well, as Mulder will not get the DRS there as he has a bit of a moment out of the final 2 corners. So does the other Mercedes of Kowski. But Bompia, the gap is 2 seconds, 1.9 now between himself and Schumacher, so he's gaining every single lap. But of course, I think Schumacher will still win. The guys behind do have a 3 second penalty. Schumacher though, can he keep it nice and tidy, because when the tyres get old, when the tyres are older, it is so difficult to try and keep in control. Look at that. You can see the tyres are grading up as well. Every single lap he goes by, as there's a massive lock-up going in towards Torso as well. It seems a bit sketchy to add a ball with for Schumacher. Look at the tyres grained up so much as well. Those tyres are done. Won't even pass an MOT test as it was in the UK. All he's got to do is try and survive as much as he can. He's going to be vulnerable when Bompia catches him for sure. Tyres do not look great, do they, on the Aston Martin car, as he has a lock-up going in towards the Valley to Al chicane. As you can see, Bompia is arriving in the background. So Schumacher will be under pressure soon. I wonder how much tyres will he have towards him in the Grand Prix. Will they drop off dramatically as well? Is going to be a massive drop-off where he loses so much time, seconds in hands. Is going to be a puncher for Schumacher? I don't know. We're going to find out towards the last stage of the Grand Prix, but he doesn't look comfortable, does he? Every time we go on board with him, it looks like the car just wants to settle out on him. What's the gap now? The gap is 1.3 as Mulder has got himself back in DRS range of Bompia, but Bompia is 1.3 seconds behind. There is 3 laps left to go in the Grand Prix. F1 Luca is up into P7. But that 2-stop strategy for him has not worked out whatsoever from hard, medium. That safety car's really cost him as well in this race. Bompia, look at that, massive, massive slide. As Mulder once again finds himself at the back of the Red Bull driver. So Mulder has been brought back into play as well, as he's hunted down Bompia, but he will not get a podium because the guys behind don't have a penalty, which is Miguel. Miguel could find himself on the podium too. He's been running down there in P5 who drives this Grand Prix. Outside there, but he's doing a mega job so far, keeping in with his DRS train. In fact, he's out of it. The gap is 1.3 now, so he's out of the DRS train. So it's down to Kowski in P4. Kowski have a big chance with the Grand Prix as well in P4 because they've caught up to Schumacher. So Schumacher has been caught up, and he'll be under massive, massive pressure as well because those tyres are just dropping off every single lap that goes by. And Bompia will be in the back of him as well. I dare say the overtake down towards turn 1 will happen as we exit the final corner. So Schumacher is vulnerable, and I don't think no defence will be thrown at him. Here comes Bompia then, he will fly past the Aston Martin for sure, with the DRS wide open and the battery too. Here he is then, Bompia takes the lead of the Grand Prix here in Imola, but he does have that 3 second attack penalty then on his name over his shoulders. And Schumacher gets a penalty too, as Mercedes Mulder is right behind as well. The thing is though, Mulder needs to overtake Schumacher quickly, because if he doesn't, Bompia could pull away, and if Bompia does pull away, it's so difficult. Look at the dirty air as well. Those tyres are getting so old as well on those cars. Even the people on the hardcore part tyres are struggling as well in this race. Can Bompia break the DRS on this lap while Schumacher is struggling there on his mediums? The dirty air will be affecting the Aston Martin too. For good measure, look at that. He is sliding through the corners there. He really knows how to control the car, the Schumacher, even when the tyres are so old. Great car balance, great control. But he is lingering outside the 1 second rigid DRS is Schumacher, and will be under massive pressure soon from Mulder and Kowski. Chance for a podium will be slipping away for the German driver in the Aston Martin as we make our way towards the final 2 corners we go in this Grand Prix, as Mulder is going to put Schumacher into 3rd. Momentarily, now the DRS is wide open for both of them, but Schumacher has no defence, no ERS, no answer, and Mulder goes up into P2. A bit of contact between the two as well for good measure, as we head down towards the braking zone. Oh, Mulder there, really around the curbs. All it takes for Kowski is to get himself a 3-second time penalty. I'm not quite sure what his warnings are, but how close is Kowski to a penalty? I wonder. How much risk is he willing to take overtaking Schumacher and the rest of them? But McGill has got a penalty. Look at Schumacher really struggling, no traction, no grip at all, as Kowski does not get past the Aston Martin driver on this lap. How is Schumacher still doing a good job of trying... Sorry about that. How is he doing a good job still of keeping up with these guys despite being on a wrecked medium car? Always slides off the track. And Kowski goes simply through up into P3. But his tyres are absolutely finished. Look at that. We're so close to a puncher, I wonder. Is Schumacher very, very close to a puncher? Can he take the tyres towards the end of the Grand Prix now? That's the question. So for the people that stole the hardcore power tyres, that hasn't worked out at all, unfortunately, for those two. Oh my goodness me, he is struggling once again on the final corner. We start the final lap there, so Schumacher's suffering will end very soon. But he is using the passion. Look at that, he's gaining and gaining and gaining. Here he is on the Mercedes driver. Oh, he goes on the grass and he overtakes him, he spins off! Wow. I don't know why Schumacher did that, but yeah, the Mercedes driver just derated massively on the straight there. Yeah, Schumacher has been relegated down to P5. He lets the McLaren driver go, and that's his race done, unfortunately. But here's the interesting one. Look at Bompia. The gap is 3 seconds. As you can see, Kowski's really struggling in the hardcore power tyres there. So Bompia could win this Grand Prix because, oh, by the way, he's got damage. Kowski got damage. I'm not quite sure where. So explains why he's been struggling in the Grand Prix. There he is, the damage on the Mercedes. I don't know where he got it from, but unfortunately he has picked up a bit of end plate damage too. So what a shame there for Kowski. The only driver, along with Mafia F1 in P8, who gets jinxed it. I was about to say Kowski and Mafia in P8 were the only ones in this race not to pick up a penalty, but the RP driver just did it. So that's perfect timing. But here comes Bompia, the man in IRT. Here he is towards the final corner. What a fantastic, sensational drive from IRT Bompia. Bompia wins the Imola Grand Prix ahead of the two Mercedes drivers. As we can see, Mulder finishing P2, and Kowski now finishes in P2 with that penalty he hasn't got. And Schumacher picks up a penalty too. Where is Schumacher down there as he spins his way towards the line? Look at that, he got a puncher just though. Just got a puncher towards the line there. F1 Luca will finish in P7 as he picked up damage too along the way. And there, the rest of the guys then just following. As Medal is going for the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Let's see if he gets it or not. Congratulations towards IRT Bompia. What a fantastic race he's done. Started down to P11 as well, outside the top 10. So mega drive from Bompia, the sexy Dutchman, in first place. Here comes Medal though. He is up in the middle sector, so I hope he gets the quickest lap of the race. Let's see if he does. Who has got the quickest lap? It is Mafia in P8 who's got the quickest lap time of the race. Let's see if he does or not. He should do. In the racing ball on a set of the so-called bar tyres. Here he is. He got to beat a 16.2. Can he do it? And the answer is yes with a 15.9. Look at those cars as well. Meets up in the middle. I hope you all enjoyed the race as well. I'll be honest with you, not the race I expected, because I expected F1 Lucas Schumacher to have this race, but unfortunately that safety car came out at the wrong time, which predicted the race, and the pendulum swung towards the other guys as well. Look at that, Bompia, driver of the day, McGill, most overtakes, cleanest driver, Mafia, and fastest lap Medal, and also race winner is IRT Bompia as well. I enjoyed the social race. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate, and congratulations Bompia, like a ding performance for him in first place. Luke for Bompia as the two Mercedes boys P2 and P3. Miguel for IRT P4 ahead of Alex in P5 and a Schumacher who starts on pole, but of course safety car got ruined for him in the second stint when the safety car came out. Luke as well, saved for him in P7 ahead of Maflio, and Slash in P9 ahead of the Visa Cash Out Racing Ball of Medal and the DNS from Vessel all the way down tonight. So P11 to P15. But been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all whenever. Take care, and hopefully I get to commentate another social race because it's been an absolute pleasure to commentate for this one as well. So I'll see you all later. Hopefully as well the ring rust has gone, because that's been a long time since I've streamed and commentating the race as well. So hopefully the old Indigo will be back. And I'll see you all later. Goodbye for now and enjoy the MotoGP race in Aragon this weekend.